uh, works on and controls. That is a parathyroid gland and the thyroid gland. Now, what does the parathyroid gland does in our body, and what does the thyroid gland does? Thyroid gland looks after the metabolism of the body we spoke about, and parathyroid gland takes care of the calcium level in the blood. And if both are imbalanced, we know what kind of problem we suffer from. So if your chakras are well balanced, obviously these glands also are well balanced, and they work with a perfect harmony with our brain and with our entire physical body. So now it's time to move above to our Agya chakra, the most important chakra of our body, which controls the function of mind. And before that, in the last session, we spoke about the 3 levels of mind, the 3 aspects of mind, that is the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and unconscious mind, and how do they work. It was important to understand these 3 levels of the mind or 3 dimensions of the mind before reaching up to the Agya chakra. Now, before we speak about furthermore on Agya chakra, let's settle our mind. Let's get the stability by doing a little bit of pranayama, what we do every time, so that we are more focused and we understand it much better. So Manav, can we have that pranayama video, those 4 pranayama, what we have been practicing every time?
Yes, I think Tao might have those videos. I have the Agya chakra, the pituitary gland.
Take your positions. Sit with your back straight, with your hands in Gyan Mudra, resting on your lap. Close your eyes and relax. Relax every part of your body. Let's begin with Omkar. Begin. Now, Brahmari. Now prepare yourself for Anulom Vilom. Assume the Pranam Mudra with your right hand and begin. Left in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold Jalandhar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold Jalandhar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Left out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Left in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold Jalandhar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold Jalandhar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Left out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Left in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold Jalandhar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold Jalandhar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Left out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Release. Gently bring your right hand back to Gyan Mudra. It is now time for square breathing in sync with the Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
Welcome back. So now it's time to understand the Agya Chakra, the sixth most important chakra. Where is it located? It is located in between our eyebrows, a little above of that, where our third eye is located. It is located exactly there, more deeper into our brain. And this is the meeting point of, again, both Ida, Pingla, and Sushumna, both the Nadi, all the three Nadis. And Ida and Pingla, the right channel and the left channel, ends over here. And Sushumna Nadi continue its journey upward. That's how it is. So let's see that video, Manav, of Agya Chakra.
Sure.
Manav, you need to share the computer sound. Manav, please share the computer sound.
Okay.
The sixth most important Agya Chakra is located in the region of the invisible third eye and at the meeting place of all the three nadis. Agya lies directly and horizontally behind the eyebrow center. A white circle with two luminescent petals symbolizes Agya. Within this is written Om, which is the yantra of our Manas element, the lower mind, also known as the conscious mind. The Agya Chakra is the holy positive force center.
Okay. So Agya Chakra, as I said earlier, is located in between both the eyebrows, a little above that, is located at Agya Chakra. And what is the meaning of Agya Chakra? Agya means command. In Agya also means guru, because command, it commands, it takes care of all the other chakras in our body, all the lower chakras. And at the same time, it controls all the other chakras. And at the same time, Agya means clear perception. What does Agya means? It, whenever our energy moves to this chakra, our ideas are more clearer, because again, it has got filtered with your Vishuddhi chakra. Over here, by reaching our, when our energy reaches over here, we have clear perception. We are intellectually, wisely intellectual, you can say that. So wisdom comes over here. When you reach over here, you are full of wisdom. You're wise. You're intelligent, but you're full of wisdom, which is important. You have to understand that. So that can be achieved only by meditation and nothing else. In fact, I wanted to share one more thing with you all, like why meditation is important in our life. So obviously, meditation means taking our energy upward, taking our energy toward the upward region where we can reach to these levels, where we become more intelligent. Otherwise, we are, as I said, we, on an average, a human being utilizes only 5 to 7% of the brain capacity. We are not open to the higher capacity of the brain, the intelligent mind, the intellectual mind, the buddhi. That aspect and that part or that dimension is always closed. It is not open because we don't know how to use it. As I said, this phone, for a newcomer, this can be utilized only as a phone and nothing else. But we know, whoever knows the phone properly knows how so many features are there in the phone. It is now a mini computer. Now again, this mini computer, if it has become a lifeline for all of us. This need to be charged every day, right? We can't say that we don't have time, so we couldn't charge it. Is that possible? We do charge it every day. Similarly, as I said last time, that our body need food for the nourishment. Now, what is a food for our brain? That's meditation. That's the only food we can provide. And that's a charging of your mind. How do you provide food to the mind? By charging it. By doing meditation, you charge it. And what does meditation do? It clears up all the unwanted thoughts and all that we preserve it in our mind. It clears that. And it gives you clear perception. Once your energy reaches there, your perceptions are clear. You have clear thought. And as I said last time, when you have clear thought process, when your ideas are very positive, when you're more positive, your karmas are also more positive. So it changes the whole cycle. You become more positive. You are leading a happy life. Otherwise, unhappiness and everything, it's our giving to our body, to our mind. Nothing from outside matters to it. Like it can make you unhappy or sad or stressed. We make it ourselves. So when your energy reaches here, there are clear thoughts. The thought process becomes clear. Your perception becomes clear. You command and you become wisely intelligent. Okay. Now, how do you balance this chakra? By chanting Om. Om as it is, this sound, if you check it up, it doesn't, like otherwise, to take out each and every letter, you have to touch your tongue. You can check it out to different dimension of your total mouth. A, U, Ma. These three are the only letters in which your tongue doesn't touch any other places. Check it out. So they say that it got created, nothing, it doesn't Otherwise, to create any sound, you have to bang two things. This just got created. And that's the reason when these NASA people, the astronomers in NASA went up in the space, they heard one sound, that was Om. And Om is that universal sound. At the same time, Om is the Bij mantra, the seed mantra of Agya Chakra, the command chakra, the Guru Chakra, which controls everything in our body. And Agya Chakra at the same time controls our pituitary gland. We all know that pituitary gland is the master gland in our body. In fact, certain people say that Agya Chakra along with pituitary also controls pineal gland. Pineal gland controls certain aspect of pituitary gland. And these two glands are controlled by Agya Chakra via hypothalamus. So about hypothalamus, we'll talk about about this in the next class, next webinar. But today, let's understand how does it work. So Agya, as I said, controls all the other chakras in the body, just like a pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, whenever you get stress. So what does pituitary gland do? It senses, the mind senses that stress, and it commands a pituitary gland. Pituitary gland in turn release the hormone that reaches to our adrenal gland, and adrenal gland then secretes adrenaline, and that increases your blood pressure, and it increases your heartbeat, and it prepares you for that stressful situation. Similarly, whenever you eat food, again, the pituitary gland secrete hormones that goes to different part of your body, different glands, and to your pancreas, to your liver, and then they start secreting juices, hormones to digest your food and all. So pituitary gland controls the aspect of each and every gland in our body. Similarly, Agya Chakra controls each and every chakra of the body, the lower chakra. Now, two petals, what does that mean? Two petals means two nadi. Intersect at this point to give us Agya Chakra. Now, these two nadis are Ida and Pingala. As I said, these two nadi, the journey of these two nadi ends over here. But obviously, Sushumna nadi is not known as a nadi, it is beyond the nadi. And that journey continues upward. Okay, so now, and the Bij mantra is Om. Now, let's see that how does it control. Can we see that other video, Mana?
Yes.
The pituitary gland, which is located at the base of the brain, is considered the most important part of the endocrine system. It is also called the master gland because it produces hormones that control several other glands. The Agya Chakra is said to be the chakra of consciousness, the master chakra that controls all the others. Its role would be very similar to that of the pituitary gland, which secretes hormones to control the rest of the endocrine system and also connects to the central nervous system via the hypothalamus. This is the center where wisdom and intuition develop. If this gland is underactive, one will have negative thoughts and lack of energy, making more bad karmas. If this gland is overactive, one may tend to live in a world of fantasy or even hallucination. The one who concentrates on the center as well as on the concerned chakra destroys all the karmas of the past lives. This gland controls air and space in the body.
Okay, so as you know that each and every chakra controls 4 aspects in our life: mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So once the energy, as our life lead, as we are aware of, as we get more aware of our, like what we are, who we are, our energy move upward. But the people who live, whose energy live in the Muladhara chakra, how do they behave? They are only aware of sleep and eat, nothing beyond that, because they cannot understand beyond that. And when the energy start moving upward to uh, Swadhisthana chakra, then how does a person behave? Then those people whose energy live in the Swadhisthana chakra, they are doers, they are achievers. Okay. Then when it goes, the energy start moves upward to the Manipur chakra, then these people are, when it moves to the Swadhisthana chakra, then we seek pleasure, pleasure of any kind. It can be materialistic pleasure, obviously, and obviously all the materialistic pleasure. And when it moves to the Manipur chakra, then we are doer, we are achievers. These are all positive qualities I'm talking about, except Muladhara chakra. And then when the energy reaches to your Anahat chakra, then obviously compassion, passion, and then we become more creative. We want, we are more, people are more, they have artistic gifts with them. And when it reaches to Vishuddhi chakra, then their perception becomes clearer, obviously, much better. They have clearer ideas and all, because it gets filtered over here. And when it reaches over here, then we are wisely intelligent. That's what it does. And emotionally more stronger. And we get clearer ideas. Nothing can hurt us then, because we are more stable over here. The stability comes, the stability in our ideas, and whatever we think, there's no confusion. When there's no confusion, obviously, whatever we think, we have clear ideas towards it. That's what it does. So, but again, to reach over there, we need everyday sadhana. Tap is required. One does meditation for a month and they say, okay, we have still not reached to, our energy have not reached, we still get confusion and confused, and we don't have clear ideas. So no, it takes time. But yes, again, as I said earlier, the journey is beautiful, the path is beautiful. Once you start doing that, you can see result in your physical health, because again, we have 72,000 nadis in the body. Once you start meditation, your energy start moving up. So it unblocks the blockages of all your nadis. When when the blockages are removed, if there are aches and pains, or you have any diseases, either you can manage it very well, or you cure them completely. Diseases like blood pressure, diseases like acidity, migraine and all can be cured, or even insomnia. People have left their medicine. They used to take sleeping pills and all. They have left it for 20 years. They used to take it and they have left it completely. So these are the wonderful results one start getting it. You become more energetic. You become more clear in thoughts. There's no confusion. Again, I'm repeating the same thing, but understand what all things start happening. And at the same time, the wrinkles, yes, you don't age so fast. I won't say it stops your aging. It slows down the aging process, because the stress, you can manage your stress much better. Blood pressure. Blood pressure is a disease of when you get stressed, as I said, you start producing adrenaline. Too much of adrenaline is produced. So if you remain stressed all the time, the brain doesn't stop sensing that. It doesn't stop giving command to pituitary gland. Pituitary gland in turn doesn't stop producing hormone which keep going to your adrenal gland. In turn, then what happens, the adrenal gland doesn't stop producing adrenaline. And when the adrenaline is there in your body, obviously your blood pressure is high, your heartbeat is high, and because it keep repairing, but obviously it doesn't stop producing it. And when your blood pressure remain high for a longer time, a person starts suffering from blood pressure. So what does meditation do? When your energy start moving up, it calms down your mind, and then obviously pituitary gland and all of them, they are under balanced. Your chakras are well balanced. When your chakras are well balanced, your Agya chakra is well balanced. It controls the function of all the chakras, and obviously all the other chakras, and control the function of all the glands in the body, and they are also well balanced. So rather than saying that we don't have time, as I said earlier, that half an hour of meditation is equivalent to 2 hours of your sleep. You try doing that. In the evening, if you do it, it refreshes you completely. And whatever sleep you get, that sleep is a quality sleep. And if you sleep for 8 to 9 hours, it reduces your sleeping hours gets reduced by 2 hours of your sleep. So if you do half an hour of meditation, you gain in 1.5 hours of hyperactivity day. You can actually, you remain more fresh throughout the day with clearer ideas. You don't get stressed. You are happy all the time, because this chakra, this gives you stability. This gives you happiness. And at times you are simply happy. This chakra deals in that, because emotionally you're sound, emotionally you're stable, mentally there's stability mentally also. Emotionally you're very strong, and physically obviously you feel more healthy, and spiritually again you gain in spirituality also. And there's compassion, passion, confidence, positivity, and all the other aspects are a part of your life, become a part of your life. That's what it does. So that's the reason I keep stressing that don't say, I don't have time. Give your body, your mind some time out of your busy schedule and see how it helps you. You can hear about all the people who are doing it regularly, how they are benefited by doing it. And you can gain the same benefit by becoming addicted to meditation. I'll say it's a wonderful addiction. Get addicted to it. So now it's time to meditate. Can we do that meditation so that we'll have some time for question answer session?
Manav, you have it, or should I do it?
It's the same audio file you sent earlier,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Take your positions. Sit with your back straight, with your hands in Gyan Mudra, resting on your lap. Close your eyes and relax. Relax every part of your body. Let's begin with Omkar. Begin. It is time for chakra meditation. Muladhara chakra, located above the anus. Now, Bij Mantra, begin. Now, Swadhisthana, located just below the tailbone. Now, the Bij Mantra, begin. Next, Manipur chakra, located right behind our navel on the lumbar spine. Now, the Bij Mantras, begin. It is time for Anahat now, located behind the heart on the path of the thoracic spine. The Beach Mantras begin. Next, Vishuddhi, located right behind our Adam's apple on the path of the cervical spine. Now, Beach Mantras begin. Now move up to the Agya Chakra, located between the eyebrows. Now, beach mantras. Begin. With that, we will end this meditation with the universal mantra Om. Begin. Rub your palms together, cup your eyes, and slowly open your eyes. Hari Om.
Welcome back. So all are at peace now, more positive, ready to start your day with positive attitude, with positive mind, and with positive thoughts. So if we have any questions and all, we can do it today. We have good amount of time in our hand.
So, the first question is, how were the nadis and chakras discovered? Does energy flow through the nadis only upwards?
For that, I would like to ask you one question. The egg was discovered first or the hen was discovered first? What was discovered first? What came first in this world? So nadis and chakras. Obviously, if you can't see nadi, you can't see chakras. So we don't know. So people experienced it. The gurus and sadhus and the yogis and all, they experienced and they explained it to us. The Adi Purush, the you can say the divine being, they gave it to us, this wonderful theory. And whatever you see in this world, in this universe, everything is connected with chakras. Everything. Whether it's your planets, it's your sun, moon, ocean, then your mountains, rivers, everything is connected with chakras. In fact, the language that we talk, even that is connected with chakras. Because the Sanskrit language is the most primitive language. And Sanskrit language has 50 alphabets. Now, since you all know about the petals and all, if you count all the petals, it comes up to 50. 50 alphabets, I told you all that we have petal mantras also. All those 50 letters are written on these petals. That's how we got the language. So, what came first? The divine, the energy, how the earth came in this universe. So they all are still a mystery. We know certain things about it. The divine being, obviously the Adi Purush, they gave it to us, and it got the yogis and the gurus, they explained it to us with their experience. They tried to explain it to us. They gave us this knowledge. That's how it got discovered.
Does the energy flow through the nadis only upwards?
Yes, it does flow through the nadis, because nadis, when they intersect each other, the chakras are formed. And the nadis moves upward. See, all the energy centers, they are connected with the nadis.
So what does Jalandhar mean?
Jalandhar these are the three bandhas. So when we'll talk about the Kundalini Shakti, the primal energy, that the potent energy that each and all of us we have, the human beings they have, but the energy, they reside in the more deeper place in our body. And whenever our body, we are ready, this energy awakens, otherwise it's in a sleeping state. And then it moves upward through, by opening up all the chakras, obviously, all the chakras become more active and it moves upward. And then in their upward journey, that chakra, that energy has to pass through 3 knots. These knots are called Brahma Granthi, then Vishnu Granthi and Rudra Granthi. And it is very difficult to pierce through those Granthis and all these knots. And we have Rudra Granthi here. And obviously when it pierces through that also, which is very difficult, but by doing Jalandhar Bandh, what happens, we open up that, because otherwise our energy is distracted in 16 dimensions, in 16 directions. As I said, because we have 16 petals over here, and energy moves in 16 directions. So by doing Jalanda Bandh, what you do, you collect all the energy from 16 petals and move it, push it upward by doing that. Because if your tube, obviously, if you are watering a plant with the help of the tube, and if there's some blockages in the tube, the water doesn't come out. So what you do, you twist that tube. And when you twist it and open it, the water gushes out. The same thing happens with our body. When because it is restricted in 16 directions, when you create a bandha over there by doing this posture, then all the glands, all the distracted energy gets collected and it is pushed upward through your Sushumna. That's what it does. And it's very important to do this.
Can you do pranayama in the evening, or do you have to do it in the empty stomach only?
Dawn or dusk, these are the two times which are said to be for pranayama, meditation, or yogasana. Both are said to be wonderful time to do these meditation or pranayama, but morning times are the best time. So if you can do it in the morning, the whole day remains fresh for you because your energy is moving in the proper direction. You're fresh, you feel fresh, and there is no confusion. You're more active. The mornings are the best time, obviously.
What is the significance of Jnana Mudra?
Gyan Mudra, well, during winters, you must have experienced static. Most of us, all of us, we do experience static. So you touch anything, you touch your cloth, and there is a current. So something you get a current out of it. Now, what is that static? From where does that current come? So your body keep releasing that energy, that life energy through the pores and especially through your fingertips. We release that precious energy. So what happens when you do meditation or pranayama and all? You unblock the blockages in your nadi. So obviously the energy movement is more faster and we don't want to miss out on that energy. We want that energy to move upward, all the concentrated energy to move upward. So when you sit in this mudra, that energy doesn't come out from the pores or from the tips of your fingers. It again start moving again in your body. It doesn't dissipate in the atmosphere. That is a significant. That's a reason you should sit. And there are 2-3 more reasons why you should do it. They say that these 3 fingers tells us about the tamasic gun, sattvic gun, and rajasic gun. This finger is the individual, and this finger is the divine being. So when you do this, you surpass all these tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic, and the individual then bows down to the divine being, and you get enlightened. So there are 2-3 things, but yeah, static is the most scientific thing that you can understand.
Can you do chakra meditation by itself?
Yes, definitely. In fact, you are listening and doing it with the audio, but obviously when you memorize everything, you should do it without any help. So that in case if you want to stay on one of the chakra for a longer time, you can. And you should do it because you have to lose yourself while doing these meditation. This is only till you memorize all the areas in the body, the chakras name, the Bij mantras and all. Once you do that, then you should do without hearing any of the audios or anything.
I think this also will answer the question, which is, how do I do chanting of Bija Mantra when I am in a place where I cannot do it aloud, but needed the meditation help?
You can, I do it, you know, most of the time whenever I'm taking a morning flight, and I can't do it at at my place in the morning. So I do it in the flight. And obviously the flight is full of people. And I do it. I chant it softly, but I do it. And doesn't matter if the next person hear it out. If you're chanting it softly, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't disturb anyone. That's it.
And how do we avoid falling asleep during meditation?
Falling asleep, yeah, a lot of people, they have said that we fall asleep. But you know what? We keep our bodies under so much of stress, our mind under so much of stress. When you do meditation and all, what it does to your body, it releases that stress. And in turn, what happens? Your body is more calmer, your mind is more calmer. So that tendency to sleep is, yes, very natural to come to you. Don't worry, within a few days, once you do it regularly, you won't fall off to sleep. In fact, you mustn't be falling off to sleep. It must be that you're getting that jerk and all, that you think that you have fallen asleep. The jerk is a very natural phenomenon, because again, as I said, when there are too many blockages in all, when the blockages open up, it gives a jerk. So you feel that you have fallen asleep. No. If you are hearing all the audio and all, that means you have not fallen asleep. And if you have also, doesn't matter. In a few days or a week, you will see that you are more alert while doing meditation.
So sleep related again, if we do this chakra just before going to bed, is it okay? Or does it charge you so much that your sleep gets disturbed?
Yeah, that is one of the things. Yeah, it may happen that, because I'll tell you my experience. So I used to take meditation classes and all. And obviously I used to do meditation in the morning, or as I'm addicted to it, I finish my meditation in the morning. And over there, while teaching it, I started practicing meditation at that time also. And then I realized that it's difficult for me to sleep in the night because I'm so active. I'm fresh. So twice a day is a wonderful thing to do it, but you should do it before having food. And then obviously immediately after consuming food, you don't go off to sleep. So you'll give enough time for your body to get tired and then go off to sleep. It refreshes you. Might remember that. Meditation refreshes you completely.
So
you can do it, but before your dinner.
Few more question. Is there a chart that you can recommend that has all the chakras with all the information like the colors, mantras, glands, etc., that I could look at and have it all in front of me?
You should memorize it. I'll send you the chart, that's not a problem, but you should memorize it. It should be here, not in front of you. It should be all here. So once you do it every day, you won't need it, but yes, I will provide you that chart. That's not a problem. I'll give it to you.
How many bija mantra per chakra should we chant?
Minimum 8. Minimum 8 to get a positive result.
And last question, our body is made up of 5 elements. So what is the 6th element, manas, which you just mentioned, manas?
Manas is the mind. Mind, all the elements are controlled by the 5 lower chakras. The mind, as I said, the clear perception, the stress level, the emotional level, the mental level is controlled by your Agya chakra, the mind, manas element.
Thank you, Preeti ji.
Vipinji, there is one more question in the chat section.
Okay, go ahead.
How emotional and mental healing is done?
How emotional and mental healing? Well, as I said, if your ideas are filtered, if your perception is clear, then obviously there is no confusion. When there is no confusion, you know what? The emotional imbalance happens when we can't balance between 2 aspects of our life. What is that? That is acceptance and expectation. When we accept a lot of things, when we don't accept whatever we can't change. And there's too much of expectation from our near and dear ones, then that creates a lot of emotional imbalance in our life. So, I'm so sorry. So when you reach, your energy reaches here, when you do meditation, again, you are positive, you're confident, you have clearer ideas and all. When all that happens, automatically your emotional, you become emotionally strong. Emotions are more concerned with your Anahata chakra. It strengthens your emotional body. And your mental body obviously gets strength from your Agya chakra. It strengthens your mental body and your thought process.